What's up, cooks? It's Wednesday. Now that we're starting our fresh milled wheat flour journey, we have our grain mill and we did some grinding already and we did some sifting, but this takes forever. So today we're going to try out the Vevor Flour Sifter. This allows us to sift out the bran. We can use the bran in another application and we can use the soft flour for our bread. This is a flour sifter from Vevor and we're going to do our first test with it. So welcome to the Amy Learns to Cook kitchen. So as we start to learn to make whole wheat bread and we're starting to grind our own flour, there's a lot of health benefits to grinding your own flour. You get the whole wheat germ, right? So you get the bran, the endosperm, you get everything grind up in your flour. And one of the things you'll find is your bread is going to be a lot denser. So how do they get that big, fluffy, white flour bread in the grocery store? They sift all of that out, right? They have very sophisticated sifters. They get all of that out and it leaves them really fluffy flour. So when you start your journey on making your own whole wheat fresh ground flour and you buy your grain mill, one of the things you'll find is you can do some sifting to get some of that out. Then you can use the bran and other recipes. You can cook it in your oatmeal. You can put it in smoothies. So you still are getting the whole wheat, but you're also sifting some of that out to give you to lighten up your bread so it's not so dense. Right? And usually we did that. We did some milling in this and we did some sifting with these. These are little manual sifters. They work okay. The problem is when you get that big grain and all that flour going through this little thing, you're sifting and sifting and sifting and sifting and sifting and sifting. It takes you longer to do the sifting than it does actually the milling.
Shout out to Debbie for helping us that one day.
Yeah, Debbie helped us with that one day to sift all that out of there, right? So Vevor actually has a product. There's two fineness in the sifter. They have a 40-60 and they have an 80-20. 80-20 you're going to use if you want like pastry flour, all-purpose flour. You want to get more of that out of there so you get a lighter result. I usually sift around 40. So that's sort of the weight, the grit or whatever for the
screen?
Yeah, the screen. I usually do it about 40. This is a 40-60. So we're going to be unboxing this baby and we're going to be trying it out. We're going to grind some wheat and we're going to be sifting it with this. It's going to make it so much easier and so much faster. So I just want to take this opportunity to thank Vevor for allowing us to try out this flour sifter. I'll put links down in the description so you can check it out. If you are ready to get going with whole grain, fresh milled flour, this might be great for your kit, right? So let me get this box over here and let's get it out of it. Okay, so let's see what we got here. This is going to be fun. This is going to be so helpful because when we have been milling our own flour, that really is the biggest pain part of the stage.
Yeah, you get arthritis.
Yeah, it's like you throw your grain in there, boom, it comes out, and now you got to sift it, right? And some people don't sift it, but if you want a lighter bread, you have to sift some of that, but you can still use it in other things. So you can make muffins out of it. You can put it in your cereal. Whoa. 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 This is major. Holy moly. Yeah, this is going to be good. Whoa. Oh, this
Get these upside down.
okay. This isn't playing around. If you, yeah, this is that little old sifter ain't got nothing on this. Yeah. Do you have a big family or you bake a lot? Wow, this is amazing. Okay, so here's our Vevor Flour Sifter, and one of these is marked our 60, and one is marked our 40. We're going to be using the 40. And the way this works is the sifter is going to be on top of here. It's going to sift down, and it's going to go down this, and it's going to come out this chute. So you put your sifter on here, and then you put your lid on here. Well, you're going to put your flour in there, right? You can put your lid on there, and then you have these little hooks here. They're like springs, and you just stretch the spring up, and you hook it on here. Wow! That beats the heck out of the little hand thing that I have going on. If you find that it moves around on your counter, they give these little non-slip pads to put the feet on. That's going to sift your flour fast. Wow! So I'm going to go ahead and wash all this stuff up. Then we're going to mill us some grain, and we're going to try this baby out. So I have 10 cups of wheat berries here. I'm going to play around with this. I want to see. So I think you get about a cup and a half to a cup of wheat berries. You're going to get like a cup and a half of flour, but then the extraction rate based on how this sifts, we'll see how much we get. I'm doing 10 cups of flour, but it's called the extraction rate between the flour and when you shift it and how much you get out of it, because you lose a lot, right? Because you're taking the bran out. So I'm going to go ahead and start scooping this here into the hopper. So I have a full video on how to run one of these grain mills, the NutriMill. We're going to, it's going to feel like there's half of this in here. We're going to be doing this like right in the middle in terms of the feed rate and the speed of the motor, so we get a general purpose bread flour. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this on. So the NutriMill is a grain mill that you don't have, you can start it before you start feeding the grain in. Some of them you can't do that. You have to put the grain in and you can't let it run empty. You just want to let it run just a second after so it gets all of that out of there. And we're done. Woo. Okay, so woo, here is our flour. Kaboom, right? Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Look at that beautiful texture. Looks amazing. So we will be...
But it's very coarse looking.
Yeah, it's kind of coarse. You could use it just like this. It's warm because obviously it went through the mill. But we're going to be sifting some of that out with a Vevor sifter. So let's get that over here. Okay, the instructions say don't fill this more than 2/3 full. So I don't think I'm going to fill it that full though.
Whoa.
Okay, a little bit came out. So I put a bowl under there. Oof. Okay, let's sift us some flour. Wow, this is so much faster than doing it by hand.
In other words, if we do too much at once.
Whoa! It's beautiful. Very, very nice. So it took like 4 minutes of sifting, and look at that. This is all the bran. This is one thing that makes your bread dense. But you can use this, like some people will say, don't sift out the bran, you're missing the bran. But you can use this in other things. You can make bran muffins. You can do all kinds of stuff with that. So you might be sifting it out, but you're using it in other things, right? So I'm going to go ahead and pour this bran in here. Look at that. So here's basically our bran and everything that wasn't ground really fine. And this is our flour. So look at the color.
Sorry, Debbie, I think you're fired.
Yeah, we had Debbie sifting like for a half hour. That literally took 4 minutes. Ooh, and it's beautiful soft, beautiful soft. So let's get the rest of this done. Okay, second batch in to the sifter. This thing is pretty cool. I'm liking it. Beautiful flour. Here we go. This is how, if you want to make bread and know everything that's in your bread, this is how you do it, right? Wow. Oh, it's so soft and nice. Very nice. Here's the bran from that batch. Bran and all the large pieces. And we'll go ahead and put it in this bowl. So we'll be saving this. Wow. Very nice. And then here's this. Very nice.
Any idea, measure it just to see. You had 10 cups of whole grain. It'd be interesting to see how much flour you ended up with.
Yeah, what's the total amount of flour? Look at that. So what's our yield? 1 cup, 2 cups, 3 cups, 4 cups, 5 cups, 6 cups, 7 cups, 8 cups, 9 cups, 10 cups. So we started out with 10 cups of grain, and we got 10 3/4 cups. So even though when you grind it, they say 1 to 1 1/2. When you're sifting this out there, you're sifting it back down to close to what the amount of grain that you used. Look at that. That's beautiful. I love it. So the Vevor Sifter, this was amazing. Literally, it took like 4 minutes per batch. And when we did it before, it would take a half hour, 45 minutes to
do it by hand.
Yeah,
and then
to sieve this much flour.
And then you get sore.
Yeah, you get sore. This thing is great. So they have this in a 40-60 and a 80-20 if you wanted to be able to do like pastry flours or all-purpose flour. I think this thing is a definite thumbs up. If you are really going to get into bread making and milling your own flour, it was not as loud. It wasn't super loud. It did a great job. The only drawback is these are kind of fussy to spring them up and spring them down over the lid, but it worked great.
Yeah.
So we're on our way. This is going to make life so much easier. So thank you, Vevor. There'll be links to this down in the description for all my bread folks. I think in homesteading folks, this is, to me, I like it. I really, really like it. So links will be down in the description. Thank you, Vevor. Happy Wednesday. I hope you enjoyed this.